Hi everyone, I'm Miss Peer Editor, and today I'm going to show you some practical strategies you can use to expand your English vocabulary. Before we start, make sure to check out the description of this video for some helpful tools that I use to improve my writing, including Grammarly Premium and other resources. Now, let's get started. To help you learn and remember new words, you should create a vocabulary bank, which can be structured as a chart or graphic organizer. First, you'll identify recurring words or concepts in your essays and reading material. For example, I often use the words convey, declare, highlight, denounce, passionate, state, depict, abundant, and underscore in my papers. Next, you'll group those words into categories by identifying patterns among these words. I notice that I tend to use a lot of these phrases and words to accomplish similar goals, such as showing an idea, thought, or image, emphasizing a point, causing an effect, making a statement, reprimanding or criticizing, or expressing enthusiasm. Then you can add new words to each category by searching for synonyms or related words online. I recommend searching up words on thesaurus.com, the Cambridge Dictionary, the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, and the Collins-Cobill Dictionary. What makes the Cobill Dictionary unique is that every definition is a full sentence that explains how the word is meant to be used in a context. Most dictionary definitions are just a phrase, so this is definitely a great resource. Lastly, you will want to identify nuances and correct context for each word, which I will explain soon. Here is an excerpt of a sample vocabulary bank. I have a larger vocab bank that I frequently use to build my repertoire of words, so if you want to gain access to my list, please subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and DM me on Instagram so I can send that list to you individually. In this vocab bank, each column is labeled with a different category, and the rows contain words that fit into each category. Notice how the words in each category aren't necessarily synonyms for each other. Instead, they just have similar uses. I recommend that you annotate your vocabulary bank to describe the differences between each word or how you might use each word in a sentence. Let's take a look at the cause and effect category. The words foster and engender mean to promote an idea, situation, or emotion, and both words have a positive connotation. On the other hand, the word incite is in the same category, but this word often refers to causing violence and has a negative connotation. But both of these words fit into the cause and effect category. Now let's examine the category labeled enthusiastic. We might want to note that the word zealous usually describes devotees of religious and political ideologies, whereas the words voracious and avid are often used to describe readers. You can find these specific contexts by simply Googling zealous in a sentence or voracious or avid in a sentence. Some of you commented on my other video, how to build your vocabulary in writing, and asked, how do I actually find these new words to add to my vocabulary bank? So there are 4 methods that I recommend that you use to actually discover new words. The first is to learn words that include the same prefixes, root or base words, and suffixes. So a prefix occurs at the beginning of a word. An example of a prefix is sub, which means under or below. And some words with the prefix sub are subordinate, subterranean, and suboptimal, for example. The base of a word can stand alone, so that base itself is a word, whereas the root is used to form full words. A root isn't necessarily a standalone word. Sometimes base and root are used interchangeably, but the most important thing is that these are just the central part of the word. So one example of a root is form, which means to create or shape. and the words reform, formulate, and deform all have the root form. And a suffix occurs at the end of the word. The suffix full means full of something, and some words that include the suffix are fanciful, careful, and faithful. So I really recommend that you know each of these individual components because that makes it easier to break words down into smaller parts, and this knowledge can also help you deduce the definitions of new words that you encounter on a daily basis. My second method to find new words is to read news articles, books, speeches, and poems and write down sentences with new words that you encounter. And I always believe that it's easier to remember new words along with the context in which you first found that word. So writing down those sentences can be really helpful for your learning process. The third tip is to create flashcards to learn 10 new words a week. And my fourth tip, which is my favorite, is to play word games such as crosswords, quizzes, and Wordle. This just makes it a lot more fun to enhance your vocabulary. My last strategy to expand your English vocabulary is to identify commonly confused words, to make sure that you are using every word properly, and also this actually helps you kill two birds with one stone because you can learn multiple words at the same time, especially if they sound similar, and this just allows you to expand your vocabulary even more. So for example, the words effect and affect are often confused. Effect in its noun form means an outcome or result, but the verb effect means to bring about change. On the other hand, the verb affect means to impact, but this word also has another meaning within a different context. It's often used in psychology and psychiatry, and this word can actually be pronounced as affect as a noun, and affect means a display of emotion. So these two words, effect and affect or affect, are often confused and they occur within multiple parts of speech. They have different definitions, but knowing all of those different definitions can really help you use them in the correct context in your writing. Here's another example of two commonly confused words, and those are ingenious and ingenuous. The word ingenious is an adjective that means innovative, clever, or extremely intelligent, whereas ingenuous means naive or innocent, and that's also an adjective. Thanks so much for watching. In the comments below, write down what categories you would include in your vocabulary bank. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and stay tuned for my next video. I will see you next time.